Hello and welcome. You're watching ET Markets Trade Talk, and today I'm going to be joined by a very special guest. He's the founder of RankDelta, FNO trader and trainer, and he's also a popular options buyer. Well, I have with me Mr. Asit Baran Pati. Thank you so much, Asit, for joining us on ET Markets.
Thanks, Anna. Thanks for having me. Pleasure to speak to you, and looking forward to share my insight with you all. So, yeah.
Absolutely. So, Asit, let's start with your journey. I mean, when did you start your journey in the stock market as a trader? And do you recall your initial years in the market?
Yeah, recalling is very much there. So basically, started in around 2011, 2012 in that period.
Okay.
Initially, I would say I was not prepared enough to get into the market, either technically or financially. Financially, in the sense, even if you have the capital, you do not know how best you can put that capital in the market, and you rely on the TV, you rely on the tips, and that is how you kind of know think you will be a successful trader. And very soon you'll realize that these tips, this everything that you any shortcut that you want to have in the market doesn't really kind of work. So initial period, and as luck would have it, the initial period is always good. People make money and they kind of think that is their skill set. But mostly this is beginner's luck. We tend to make money because of maybe market is in a good phase and things like that. And sooner or later, then you realize that how market can put you place in your own respective space if you're not prepared for it, or if you're not qualified enough to kind of get into the market. So initial period, yes, I was working in a investment bank. I was kind of doing good, but the kind of slogging that was the kind of number of hours that I used to spend in the bank, and when you start making money in just a few hours in a whole day, then you think why you need to do a job. So basically, my initial recall is that temptation to earn money in a very short period of time, what drove me from my well-paid investment banking job to a kind of to trading. So initial few months were very good, and then the tragedy did happen. So yeah.
Okay, absolutely. And why have you selected options buying or option selling? I mean, option selling is what most traders do. So, what is your, what is your options buying framework?
See, there's a background to it, to be honest. Like, so basically, as I was saying, so initial period, I had a good run. I made good money. And over a period of time, I managed to lose out all. So I did not have much of capital. So kind of now arrange bit of money to begin trading again. And when you have limited capital and you want certain amount of ROI from your capital, and since the fact that I had blew up my capital a few times, 2 3 times, I did not want to take leverage this time. And so I did not want to have leverage. I did not want to expose myself completely to the market. So the fact of the basic kind of rule of option buying, that is limited risk. Before you even begin the trade, you know how much of premium is at stake. And that's the beauty of an option buying, irrespective of everything that is being said against it or whatever. So for me, I wanted to know how much is at stake before I can even trade. So let's say if I'm putting a premium of 100 rupees, at worst I can lose 100 rupees. And even if I do not kind of square off at say 70 or 80 or whatever, at max I'll lose at 100. But in case of a future, the price can go down, let's say 10% circuit, it can go down. Right. Not that the options mein nahi jayega, but at the same time, it is limited to the premium that you have paid. So I think that is a big fundamental shift from futures trading, which I used to do earlier than option buying. So this is the first thing that attracted me. And slowly, steadily, I discovered the fact if you get the trend and momentum correct, it's kind of a very, very well, it's a very great instrument to make great money. So if you pay premium of 100, there is no way, if you have got a trend and momentum correctly, you make maybe 50%, 70% in no time. And that is how option buying can give you. Yes, how do you catch the trend and momentum? That's a different story. But at the same time, it is definitely doable. So that attracted me. Okay, fine. This is not that the basic bookish definition that is there. unlimited profit. Nobody goes for unlimited profit.
Yeah.
But for me, that limited capital loss, limited risk is something that drove me to kind of option buying. And I never felt the need of going to kind of selling or whatever,
Yeah.
because the kind of money that it had the potential to generate. So that is why option buying.
Absolutely. And also, what was the first thing that you learned in your initial years? I mean, now that you have so much experience, what strategies one should follow, and what strategies would you recommend to become a successful trader, or any hacks that you would like to share?
And that's what I think, predominantly a couple of things. Initially, I used to take a lot of leverage. So let's say if I have once here, the broker will give me 3-4 times. So your trading capital becomes 3-4 CR between intraday. And if there's a good day, you'll make money. If there's a bad day, you'll lose money. And by the time 3:15 comes, the broker will take out his leverage that he has given to you intraday, and then suddenly that MTM starts hitting you. Okay, fine. Now once year is left is maybe 95 lakhs,
Yeah.
right? So initial part, when I started not doing very good and started losing money, the first part of it was that I would not like to take any leverage.
Okay.
Most of us, I know for sure that there are excellent guys who do a lot of great work in selling by taking leverage, and I think that's a skill set. I did not have the skill set. So I think first thing first, most of the traders need to understand the trading DNA they have. If you do not know what kind of trading DNA that you kind of developing or you have, it is very difficult to kind of find your own path. There are buyers, there are sellers, there are cash guys who buy in cash, take delivery, make great money. There are people who only do it futures. In market, there is unlimited kind of opportunities, but which opportunity you should be taking both hand and try to gain bit of an expertise in handling those is what will differentiate you from a normal trader to a very good trader. So I think initial part, I think people who are starting or just into the market, they must know what kind of trading they want to do, what is the trading DNA, what kind of risk they can manage, what kind of profit do they want to have, and things like that. So these are the basic Q&A. People should sit down with themselves and take weeks time to understand what they actually want. And sadly, the Twitter flow of be it screenshot, be it the whole theory that market is easy, it is not. So people should take out that idea that market mein to paisa ban jata hai, why do we need to do a job? And that's a blunder that I did. Somebody who wants to get into the job, say trading, and they should have decent amount of backup in case things don't work out. They can go back to the job. They have a decent pool of capital, so that a bit of loss which is unavoidable, you're not kind of getting too distracted or too kind of affected. So don't be undereducated about the market. Have the right skill set, develop it before you get into full time. Don't be undercapitalized. Most of us traders, initial part when I lost money, I had a very small capital. So people would kind of try to make big out of it rather than learning the part key how to develop the craft. It's human psychology. So most of us get lost in that. So my advice would be to kind of understand yourself as what kind of a trader you want to become. Be it a buyer, seller, cash, future, doesn't really matter. Do not take much of leverage. It can kill you really on a bad day. Try to have a very, very objective, trading discipline key, how much you want to earn in a week, in a day, in a month, how much you can afford to lose, where if that loss happens, you're not going to lose your sleep over it. So these are the things people must kind of have a very clear understanding from themselves before kind of get into full-time trading, you can say. Yeah.
Absolutely, that's the word coming in. And also, which was the first bad phase in the market that you remember clearly? I mean, and how did you navigate it, if you could share with us?
Well, there are many bad phases. Well, you keep having these bad phases every now and then. But the worst one was that when I lost all my capital, my father's savings, bit of family savings and everything, uh, because you are on a trip. Okay, it happens like no. So basically, where I was coming from a corporate career, I was doing decent. I was doing all right, and you try to translate the corporate success to be just because you're successful over there, you can do similar stuff in market. It doesn't happen like that. So you need to know when you need to be defensive. You need to know when you need to be aggressive. and I think I was driving a Ferrari in every road, and you cannot do that. So I was aggressive. I was a bit undereducated. I was not respecting risk, and more than anything, I think I was just wanted to make a huge amount of money because I saw money coming from market. So that was the initial bad phase. I would say when I lost all my family saving, my own savings for from corporate for good 12 15 years, very good savings in the form of bonus or whatever, and that goes away within like 4 6 months time. What motivated, that was actually nothing like motivation, is just that I lost it.
Hmm.
So the confidence was there key, it can be only gotten back from the market itself. But I also knew I was not ready enough to kind of get it back from the market. So
Yeah.
I spent good amount of time to learn the basics, learn options, learn ta, whatever that needs to be learned. I did that, and over a period of time you kind of again take those baby steps, and with an objective, okay fine, you'll get better at it, and at least you should not be getting to a phase where you lose all your capital or all your money
Hmm.
and things like that. So those are the learnings from the initial period. So those learnings still hold good. Recently, I think 3 months back, I had a bad phase when there was drawdown because of the volatility that was there in the market.
Yeah.
But those bad phases are also kind of not tell you ki how good you are. It's like a stress test, right?
Hmm.
If everything goes fine, you really do not know the weaknesses, you do not know the flaws in your systems and things like that. These stress tests are good for you as a trader. If you do not experience bad phases, how nicely you can come out of it, how fast your recovery rate in case of a drawdown, how nicely you can adapting to the new regime of the market. If you don't know, I think trading is in a game of chess. You need to know which who you're playing with at what point of time.
Yeah.
Then might you need to be defensive with the soldiers going on. There might be aggressive with the horse, or let's say the minister kind of not going in tango. So it's a not only the risk management, money management, technical analysis and everything, but you have need to have a lot of control on your emotions in terms of how exactly
Hmm.
psychologically you'll deal with losses, psychologically you'll come out good in terms of whatever profit that you're making.
Yeah.
I've seen quite a few good traders who have made great money, but just to give it back to the market. So if market rewards you in some way, you're making some money, you should also have the skill set to reutilize that money in a much better way, so that when the drawdowns period are there or the bad days are there, that money is there with you. So yeah, learning is there. I think every day, every week we learn what not to do, and once all the traders they realize what not to do based upon their own experience, based upon their own personality,
Yeah.
I think market is a beautiful place to kind of hang around.
Absolutely. I think we all make mistakes, and that's how we learn. So now let's come to your market outlook. I mean, how are you approaching markets at this point in time? I mean, are you seeing the dynamics of the Indian markets changing? Are we factoring in that the inflation has now peaked, and going forward we can, expect better corporate earnings as well?
I think, to be honest, I'm a very, very short-term trader. I
Okay.
keep changing my views every second, third day. If the data is changing, I will change my view. It's
Okay.
as simple as that. Because I'll tell you why. Because as a buyer, when I'm buying options, if I do not have the trend and momentum with me,
Yeah.
I would not kind of make money. So my trades will always be kind of I might still be long or bullish in the market, but let's say my strike price will keep changing.
Hmm.
Sometime back on air, I told no, we'll buy 36. We'll see 36,000 Bank Nifty in the first week of July when Bank Nifty was around 34, 300 or 400 kind of thing. So the view was intact. I was long in Bank Nifty in most of the strike prices. But how do
Okay.
you do delta drift? How do you kind of manage that risk? That is a different thing. Most of the times, most of us would have the view correct, but the execution not being so great. Uh, but anyway, coming back to it, I think I was telling why exactly I do not look into the longer perspective, maybe a 2 3 days, 4 days period. But market outlook is good. I think as of now, if we do not go below 17,000, I think we will see 17,800, 900, maybe 18,000 के level के ऊपर, until unless there is some kind of global development which is kind of letting us know कि something again. So inflation is more or less priced in. We will see how the Fed is reacting to the numbers that will be coming, I think, this week or next week.
Yeah.
How exactly they're coming out of the rate cut. But any which way, the Fed commentary has already been kind of taken into account. We are in the no key. Let's say this inflation is there, and the rate hikes will be there. So most of the poisons have been kind of already digested, if I may say,
Absolutely.
until there's some new development that is not coming in.
Yeah.
So yes, we will see bit of correction. We will see bit of downtake. But अगर midterm or long term view रखेंगे, I think Bank Nifty is going to around maybe 40,000. Nifty is definitely going to kind of above 18,000 as long as 17,000 is maintained. So
Yeah.
view is positive, and I'm pretty sure, especially yesterday, State Bank results were not that great, but HDFC Bank result was also not that great at that point of time when it came. But HDFC Bank is leading the Bank Nifty. So you see the leader of the pack is doing something really nice,
Yeah.
and rest of the kind of counters are joining in. All this rally, Reliance has not participated. I somehow think Reliance would be a dark horse in this month, which would kind of take Nifty higher.
Yeah.
So view is positive, but at the same time, we will see every now and then some amount of correction, and that should be, so basically it's a buy and dips market rather than sell and rally kind of market. So that is how I'll be looking at the market.
Okay, absolutely. And lastly, before we let you go, if there is one thing that you would want young and especially new investors to learn from your experience, what would it be?
I think more than anything, people should have the belief that there's a great amount of money can be made in market, and there's no doubt on that.
Okay.
It's just like that. You have to decide whether you want to go to a normal base school or you want to get into IMs. Market will give you that opportunity to whether to get the reward like an IM graduate or you want to get a reward of like a normal base school graduate. Having said that, there is a lot of work to be done. There is a lot of research to be done. Your psychological aspect, your monetary aspect, let's say the education aspect, and everything. But this market is going to be there, and over a period of time in our own lifetime, we will see Nifty at around say 40,000, 50,000 bare minimum. If market is going up that much over a period of next let's say a couple of decades or 3 decades or whatever,
Yeah.
are we ready to kind of take maximum juice out of it? Right. So if you're not prepared, education wise, b let's say having the right capital at the right time. So the point is, how much of preparedness do we have to kind of milk the best out of the market? Most of us do want to earn money. Everybody wants to earn money, but they would not like to put effort. So my sincere request for everybody who wants to get into the market is that put effort, and market will reward you in the long term. There is no doubt on that. If you do not want to get into hardcore trading, invest, SIP, whatever that is there, but the equity theory, the equity story will be on, and I'm pretty sure over a period of time, all of us are there to kind of get the benefit out of it. So stay invested, even if you're not trading. But market is a place where dreams do come true. So chase your dreams in the market.
Absolutely.
So,
chase your dreams and stay invested. That's the word coming in. And on that wonderful note, thank you so much, Asit, for taking the time out and being with us here on ET Markets today. Thank you so much.